What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about Night at the Roxbury, which came out in 1998, starred by Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan, and Richard Grieco. I don't even know who else is in it, really, but those are pretty much the main people I'm talking about. So anyways, it starts out 8.5 out of 10 for my review, anyways, guys. Pretty much we meet, the opening scene is the two brothers, the Steve and Doug Butabi? I think it's Butabi. Anyways, so it's the opening scene, and they're pretty much like, it's the What Is Love, the music, and it's great too. So it's the What Is Love song, so we get that soundtrack, and they're just like jamming their car. He smashes the side window from banging his head too hard, and then like it's pretty much we're getting the basis of like they can't get into like the good club, so they're pretty much the whole night they're trying to get into this one club, the Roxbury. The Night at the Roxbury, that's why they call it. And they're just like waiting in line, and they have like their random pickup. So they have this one pickup line where they talk about this one fellow. He tips his hat, and it ends up being Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Duck Man himself. I swear to God, that's like one of their pickup lines. Will Ferrell's character in this is pretty much like he follows Doug around all the time. Like Doug's like pretty much the boss in like their brother relationship. Anytime like people tell them they're asked if they're brothers, they're like, no, yes. It's I don't know. It's one of those stupid 90s TV like movies that you could watch, and it's just fucking hilarious. Like it's just so goofy. So pretty much the whole basis of it is like they have this idea. Well, like Doug, they have this idea of creating this this new nightclub, which is like called an In and Out. So the outside is the inside, and the inside is the outside. So when you're waiting in line, it has all the chairs and music playing outside, and then when you go inside, it has like all the street lamps and streets and cars and everything in there. That's like their big idea they want to try and pitch to someone eventually. So basically we get a big like opening montage of what they do for the day. They walk on the beach in bikinis. They try and pick up girls everywhere they go, trying to say one-liners. And then we get the montage of them getting ready too, where it's just fucking awesome. They're just like talking in front of the mirror, like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? You from out of town? Hey, you from out of town? Hey, do you like to party? Like, just ridiculous, like one-liners. It's so bad. So they're getting ready, putting like their side spray on for like their sideburns and everything. What else? So basically, they live at the parents too, and their dad gets mad at them because they're running a flower shop. And this girl Emily, who works at the plant shop beside them, is into Steve hardcore. Wants Steve, and like Steve's like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, what's up, man? Like, yeah, like Will Ferrell just plays him as just like this California like dope head, kind of like just a stupid airhead dude, and it's fucking hilarious. So anyways, they have to take their flower work van to the Roxbury tonight, and like Doug says they're driving him, and he's like, I feel it, like I'm feeling it tonight, like I feel like we're gonna get to the Roxbury. And then like Will Ferrell, Steve just starts flipping out. He's like, I'm not feeling it, Doug, I'm not feeling it tonight. He's just like losing his shit. And then they end up like trying to find an ATM, and then what do you know what, Richard Grieco smacks his car in the back end of their truck, their van. So they get out, and Richard Grieco's like nervous because he has a legal street car, and so they get out and they're like, whoa, you're Richard Grieco! Remember when you saw us last night in the line at Roxbury? He's like, yeah, sure. And then he's like, so what do you guys want to do? Well, we were just gonna go to Roxbury. Well, guys, I can get you in the Roxbury. And then follow me. So pretty much that's like literally how Richard Grieco gets out of a car like accident, having to pay like insurance and all that crap for them. He pretty much like, they're just so dumb that they don't even really know that they got hit. They just care so much that they met Richard Grieco from 21 Jump Street. And now he's taking them to Night at the Roxbury. The one thing I didn't like about Night at the Roxbury, so the opening scene, they have that big black dude from Green Mile. He's like the security guard, and they're trying to like talk to him and shit to like convince him to go in. The one part I wanted to see was like them walk by him and allowing like Richard Grieco to say they're good to go like past him. Like then they just like cut that part out, I think. So maybe they couldn't get him back in. So that part sucked a lot. Anyways, what else? They have so they're in the club now with Richard Grieco and Richard Grieco's gal, and they meet, what's his name? I have it written down somewhere. Sadir. They meet, like, Sadir. He's the head manager of the Roxbury, and they end up, like, having drinks with him and talking the shit for the night, and then they end up finding these two girls that think they're married. The two, Doug and Steve, are millionaires because they're hanging out with Sadir, the manager, so they end up going to an after party with Sadir and the girls, and they end up, what do? They end up hooking up with the girls, and this is the first time Doug or Steve hook up with the girls, so it's, like, hilarious, like, what they do. They're just, like, in the bedroom with them, and they're just trying to do one-liners, so I'm throwing one-liners at them to still trying to pick them up, and then the girls realize they're virgins, and then they just take them to town, apparently, and then they both run out of the hotel room, and the brothers start talking to each other, and he's like, yeah, like, it's not like I haven't done that before, but, oh, yeah, that was awesome, and then they're leaving, and then at the end of the night, he's like, Doug goes to Steve, shows him Heath Perry, he's like, we got a number, and they just start, like, chanting all intense about how they got, like, these two girls' numbers and shit like that. And so what happens is, next scene, I think they get an argument with their dad at the flower shop, and they end up calling those honeys back, and the girls try to go hang out with them again, and then during the day they realize that they're total fucking dorks and losers and not millionaires, so they pretty much, like, diss them hard. And then that creates the fight between Steve and Doug, separating their bond, and, like, ends up Doug moves into the pool house, and then Steve's all alone in their one bedroom that they share together in their parents' house, and he ends up going out with Emily, who ends up, like, moving super fast on him, pretty much. So they're at the movie theater, he, like, slowly puts his arm around her, and then she moves his hand and just slides it right on her boob. He's just, like, his face is like, it's so funny. And then she's all having sex with them, but then she's talking about going, like, to Home Depot, and then she's like, I'm never gonna go to IKEA! She does, like, it's so funny. He's like, I think you're moving a little fast. You're kind of making it seem like we're already married. And then she's like, what, Steve? You want to marry me? And he's like, what? So then Doug finds out they get married. They're getting married, pretty much, and now it's the wedding day. And Craig has his best man, who we find out early on in the movie is, like, Steve and Doug's, like, workout buddies. So he's just, like, a big jokester with, like, he's a big fitness freak and shit like that, and he ends up telling, Steve asks him to be his best man, so he's like, so this best man role, like, so it's like like your squatter kind of deal, like, when you're doing squats, so if you're not there to marry her, I fill in, right? And, yeah, sure, I guess so. And he's like, okay, cool. So the wedding happens, and Emily puts the ring on Steve's finger, and then Susan put it on Emily's finger, and then all of a sudden Doug comes to the back and starts playing What Is Love on a stereo, and then everyone's yelling at him, and then Steve just, like, runs away to him, and then they start doing, like, these stupid one-liners to each other. He's like, shut up, just shut up, you had me at hello. He's like, what the fuck? And he's like, I thought it was you who's dragging me down, but it's me who's dragging me down, and you complete me, man. Like, it's like they're saying to each other. And so they dish the wedding, and then Craig ends up going up to Emily, and he's like, alright, this is my time, I'm it. He's like, I'm here to spot. He's like, and he convinces her to marry him, so he marries Emily, pretty much, which is just so jokes, because he's like, you know what, I have 2% body fat, which is pretty good, and I hope to have my own protein power bar shake one day. So, would you marry me? And she just says, yeah, which is just so fucking random. Like, it's just such that you would tell people from Saturday Night Live did this, like, movie, just because it has that all written over it, pretty much. Just goofy, random shit happening. Like, there's these two dogs that their dad owns, and they just come in, always, like, every scene, they're just randomly doing fucked up shit, like, just messing stuff up off the table and stuff. What else? Doug, also, every time he scans your credit card, he has this girl that he calls the operator, and that's his, like, little honey that he talks to on the phone and, like, flirts with and stuff. So that's what we find out, like, early on in the movie. And then actually in the opening, which I didn't talk about this too, was when they're driving Steve gets pulled over by a haughty police officer, and he's just like, and Doug's like, do you think she just pulls over anyone? Make a move. And then he's just like, Will Ferrell tries to flirt with the haughty police officer, and he's like, she's like, just remember, slow down. He's like, I will now that you served and protected me. And then he looks at the ticket. He's like, alright, man, you got a date with her at the Municipal Court on June 30th. Nice! And then he high-fives him right in the face. So, we learn that they have these two random girls that they met throughout the movie. So now we go forward to the wedding. So, like, Steve and Doug ditched Steve's wedding. And now they're going out again. They're going out to the Roxbury. But it ends up not being the Roxbury anymore. They end up pulling up to this random, I can't remember if it's actually the Roxbury. It might be the Roxbury, and Sadir just changes it, I think. So they see that the outside looks like all the inside of the bar. They have people dancing, they have chairs and everything. People are waiting in line on in a sectional area kind of deal. So they're like, what the heck? So they go in, and they're like, they're going up to the security guy. He's like, you on this? He's like, yeah, we probably are. Steve and Doug Buscemi. You guys are? We are. Go in, sirs. And then they find out that, like, they own the club, a part of there. Sadir comes up and says he manages to, he couldn't find them later that night, and so he ends up making them partners in the shadows, pretty much. And they find this out at the very end, which is awesome. So they're like club owners of their own club that they like just pitch this idea to them at the start of the movie. So then they show up and they're like owning the club. Everyone's like, hello, Gustavi, it's Happy Bushabi, actually, thank you. And then they're like, oh, we need you to approve this. Oh yeah, that looks all good right there. And the dude's just looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Good business choice, he says. And then, so we're at the very end of the movie now. And we pretty much have at the bar talking, and the girl, this random little short girl who ends up being the girl that Doug calls on the phone all the time, she recognizes his voice, and so does he. He's like, 223? He's like, it's you! And he's like, oh, well, are you here with anyone? And he's like, yeah, my friend. And he's like, and it ends up being a really hot police officer that Will Ferrell was trying to pick up the start. And he's like, hottie police officer. And then she just smiles, and he's like, do you guys want to dance? And they're just like, no. Yes. And it was the girls who started this time, so it was fucking hilarious. And then it just starts with them all dancing all weird and shit like that. And that's pretty much how the movie ends. So yeah. Anyways, the story is just so stupid, it's funny. It's one of those ones where you just watch when you feel like having a good laugh, and I felt like having a good laugh today. 8.5 out of 10 for my view. Will Ferrell kills it like always. Chris Kattan, I can't remember if I say his name right. He was big in the 90s and 80s. I don't even know if he's still acting right now, but he was the man in this movie. I fucking loved him. They had so many great lines, they're dancing at the start, and they're both grinding up on this chick. Wow, it would just look like I was just doing something really weird, but they're just grinding up in between this one girl like this, and she's just screaming, just going back and forth like this, getting bounced off her chest and stuff like that. It's awesome, and the tunes in it are amazing, and Richard Grieco. So yeah, anyway guys, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, Night at the Roxbury. 8.5 out of 10. Thanks guys.